about what it is to be alive, almost. I mean, if you can't, if you can't be sympathetic to like something you just described, to this whole dying process and taking control of it and owning our destiny, and you know, I mean, these are even people who have all this respect for people's right to do this and their individual rights here and their individual rights there, and yet they don't have any respect for an individual's right to say, yeah, I think life is kind of bogus, especially now, and so I've kind of had my fill, and I'd like to leave gracefully. And it's like, no, they just like tie people to the chair and say, no, no, you have to live it all out, every bit of it, you fucker. And it's like, well, how can anybody be that sadistic? I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah, and I don't know if this is going to be a fruitful avenue to go down, but hell, let's do it. It's incendiary. What do you think of Jack Kevorkian? I'll just throw that out there. I guess okay. I'll expand on it a little bit more. I mean, do you think the uh, are generally sympathetic and in agreement with uh, the services that he provided? I would assume yes. I would assume you don't have any argument with what he did, but just
Yeah,
curious.
well, I'm surprised you even mentioned it, just because I do mention his name, pretty often. Yeah, he's my hero. He's the man, Jack Kevorkian. He was great.
No, actually, I guess I was comatose in that part of the videos. I don't recall you mentioning him before, but whatever. That's my bad. No. Yeah, I figured he was. You were sympathetic to that point of view. So, all right, worthless detour.
I mean, it's good to mention Jack now and then. Um, yeah, it's just sad. Like I said, even he's a good example of just how people turned it into, you know, this macabre, or this, all this sinisterness. And if they knew anything at all about him as a human being, they know there was nothing sinister. He's not capable of the emotion even, and it's just so pitiful that we can't get something that simple right. 7 years in jail. I mean, just insane.
Someone told me my mic's too low. Is it too low?
It works for me.
So, hey, is Kevorkian still alive, or did he die?
I haven't heard of him about him being dead. No, I mean, he got out of jail and he ran for Congress, and that didn't go anywhere. And as far as I heard, he's fine. I mean, he's old, he's kind of feeble.
Did you, open question, anybody in the room? Did you or anybody else see the movie that was made about him, starring Al Pacino, and any reviews?
Yeah, I didn't see it. I mean, I can't even imagine Al Pacino as Kevorkian, but whatever. Be interesting to see. Yeah, I don't do the TV thing, so it's hard for me to see movies, now.
Yeah, you can pretty much watch everything online these days between Netflix and iTunes and other outlets. You can pretty much watch everything online. Netflix has a pretty good online movie selection, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit lame, actually, I thought. I mean, there's a couple of good ones in there, like I saw the Aliens movie, I hadn't seen that in a while, and they had that one, but there's a lot of clunkers. And then they'll have a good movie, but sometimes they only have it available for like 2 weeks. So, if you don't hit the right 2 weeks, you're fucked.
Oh man, this is. But I tell you, the last month has just been a barren fucking desert for movies. I mean, there has been nothing. There was that. There was that one movie. Who was it with Leonardo DiCaprio? The Dream movie, which was okay, but yeah, boy, basically, every, last 30 days has just been suck ass for movies. I mean, I haven't even bought. The movies are so bad. I haven't even bothered to watch them online for free. That one with DiCaprio wasn't bad. Kind of convoluted plot about dreams within dreams, but it wasn't great either.
Too much. I'm too annoyed by him as a character now. I mean, I don't know. If, I guess I could probably, if I got caught up in a movie, I could ignore his existence. But just too many bad movies.
Yeah. So, any good ones? What's anybody seen? What's the last good movie anybody has seen?
Well, I can talk about the last bad movie I saw. Somebody sent it to me actually, which was really nice. But oh, his was a clunker. It's this stupid Masaki Kobe. I can never say his name right. Well, I can never do any of that right. Kobayashi guy, and the samurai guy, which wasn't horrible, but it was pretty pitiful. But anyway, this one is really this Kawadan or whatever. It's some sort of remanufactured version of some thing he made in 1965. These five like short stories, little ghost stories. Oh God, I actually had to stop watching it halfway through it. I had to just say I can't watch this anymore. I had to come back to it. It was just so bad. I mean, just so much dead space in it. It's all overdone and styrofoam snow, and yes, it's very artistic, but it's just none of it was realish. It was all just too. Ugh. And that whole Japanese thing. I mean, I really like Asian culture, but I really hate this, like, this samurai thing. I mean, these guys look fucking silly. I mean, they should have just killed themselves just for looking silly. And then they were guarding they're guarding houses that don't have anything in them. There's nothing in the fucking house. What do they do? Where do they keep their stuff? Because all I see is a fucking goddamn mat, a little tiny little table with a little dish on it and a little bowl for their water. And that's all they got in the whole fucking world. Is that? That's it. In every fucking room, there is nothing in their fucking houses. Why the fuck would you guard a house with nothing in it?
Hey man, that's the Japanese aesthetic. That's what Zen is all about. You know, a vacant room and you just put water in. That's it. Your room is complete. Hey, that movie you're talking about. Are you talking about Kurosawa's Dreams? Is this a remake of Kurosawa's Dreams? The one you held up?
No,
Sounds like it.
it's five short stories, and they're all kind of like ghost stories. Have a ghost theme to them and a samurai theme, and but they were just little silly stories like, oh, guy goes, he collects wood, and the two woodsmen get caught in a snowstorm, and then a ghost woman kills one of them, but he doesn't kill the other one because he's cute, and so then the ghost woman decides to go. She ends up marrying him, and she has three kids, but she told him when she didn't kill him, don't ever tell anybody about this ghost you've seen, and he ends up telling his wife, who is now the ghost, and then the ghost says, "You weren't supposed to tell nobody, you dumb nigger." And, and so then the ghost woman is all pissed off, and she says, "Well, I can't kill you though, because you got those three little bratty kids. So you better take good care of them. I'll come to you, bastard." And then she leaves. Fuck. I mean, this is so fucking stupid. I mean, the ghost is offended because they told the ghost secret to the ghost. I mean, he didn't tell his mother. He didn't tell all these other people. He told the fucking woman he's married to, who's the ghost woman. And what is she complaining about? And the whole thing in all these stories, these ghosts were all like really willing to talk. It's like they were all emotional ghosts. They kind of wanted to talk, and everybody was always jabbing them with swords or punching them or fighting with the ghost. And you're like, Why don't they just talk to the fucking ghosts? Maybe the ghosts just want to have a little tea and talk a little bit and complain and bitch, and maybe that's all. That's all it is. You don't gotta sit there and stab them and shit. Oh, well, anyway, it was just so whack. But that was the stories. The stories were five simplistic little nothing stories.
There was one story or one movie that I remember that I think might be the same one where this guy gets, it's not a ghost though, it's a gargoyle. He gets visited by this gargoyle, and the gargoyle tells him, "You better not tell anybody about me, motherfucker." And then like he goes on with his life and never tells anybody, and then he gets married to this woman, has a bunch of babies with her, and then he tells her about the gargoyle, and she goes and turns into the fucking gargoyle, and then his kids turn into gargoyles and fly away. Yeah, I remember that shit.
It's probably the remake of the same story by somebody else. You know, it's like, okay, no, well, let's change it a little bit. Instead of Godzilla, we'll make it Mothra, and like instead of shooting fire, it'll shoot like atomic radar or something. Yeah, but yeah, it sounds like the same, but that's not what I saw. There was no, you know, she wasn't a gargoyle. She was just, you know, she was just a chick, you know, who blew ice breath on you. She killed you with her ice breath, you know, just breathed on you, and now you're dead.
Yeah, that's boy. You could do a whole evening on that alone. I mean, the Japanese have got some weird fucking aesthetic shit going on, man. I mean, have you seen? You can't help but have run across it at some point. Have you seen this like real extreme X-rated form of anime called hentai? I mean, this shit would just make fucking Walt Disney roll over in his grave. It is about. I mean, there there's nothing going on in the porn industry in the San Fernando Valley that can compete with this. This is obscene would be.
Yeah, I know, but some of that anime stuff is actually hot. You know, when they do, when the Japanese actually do romance in a movie, it is pitiful. It's like a girl wearing burlap bag, guy wearing boot on head, and you know pointy spine in the fuck that circumstance. It's just what the fuck. What you don't even know what the hell you're having sex with. You know, it's pitiful. You know, but their anime shit is, you know, those chicks are hot. You know, they're wearing shorts and shit. I actually saw some of that in my icons on YouTube. I mean, I just was doing a search on something, and a bunch of that anime porn stuff came up. I mean, it wasn't porn, but it was like, you know, anime girls doing exercises in bikinis and shit, and I don't know, some kind of weird ass crap. But I looked.
Yeah, a friend of mine works up the road for George Lucas at ILM. He's one of his animators. And I remember about 10 years ago, he came over with this videotape called Ninja Scroll. He's like, "Man, you got to see this. This is so fucking cool." And he put it in, and it was pretty damn cool. I mean, it still holds its own. Uh, even 10 years later, I forget when it was made, early '90s. But they do, some of the Japanese anime is pretty cool. I love Ghost in the Shell. I just think that's brilliant. Not just the animation. I kind of like the plot line as well. I would think you'd be sympathetic to that because you're into virtual reality, and that's like a central theme in Ghost in the Shell. So yeah, some of it's pretty cool, but some of it's pretty extreme. It's all over the map.
Yeah, well, there's the cartoony kind of stuff, you know, and then there's the, you know, some of it's very artistic. I remember I saw one that had like a, I don't know, it was a badger or something, or a boar. You know, it was like running, and they just did such a good job. The artwork was just so good. I mean, it was running, and they were like inside the fur or something, and there was demons living in it, or I don't know. It's all kinds of crap going on. I can't remember the movie, but you know, the artwork was just unbelievable.
Yeah, so I just kind of wanted to ease into this point. So last week you said you really don't like anything Kurosawa did. Like you didn't like the Seven Samurai. I mean, because that's like a seminal piece of 20th century. You know, That's like
Oh
part
well,
of the
come on!
tempo.
It doesn't. You compare it to what? Ben Hur?
Well, it was
I mean, come
it
on. I mean,
it influenced
yeah.
so many